So this was the syllabus. Okay, history, then comparison, then basics, then approaches and machine learning. Okay. So artificial and intelligence, these two words. Okay, artificial means which is not natural, and intelligence means capability of reasoning, understanding the situation, and making the decisions. Okay. Then, and the basis of human. Okay, human is considered intelligent, and that's why capabilities of human, if they can be incorporated in the machine. Okay, so just like to see computer vision or camera are added, hearing some sound analysis is added, talking, singing there is some sound synthesis, then understand language there is natural language processing. For the moment, it is robotics. For the reasoning, automated reasoning, and learning is machine learning. Okay. So in this way, whatever in green you can see the machine, the human, what you call human intelligence is helped by these particular sensors. Similarly, the machine intelligence or artificial intelligence is helped by these. You can see uh, by these techniques. Okay. So then these are the scopes, okay, of the artificial intelligence learning, sorry, machine learning, speech, vision, NLP, expert system planning, and robotics. Okay. Then we studied what is this. That is the thought level and behavior level. Okay, and how human and how rational. Okay. So think like human. Okay, so system that think like human, system that act like human, system that think rationally, and system that act rationally. Okay, so these are the four cases. Okay, then Turing test approach. Okay, so computer needs then NLP, knowledge representation, automated reasoning, machine learning. Okay, and for that introspection, psychological experiments and brain imaging. Uh, this human thinking process can be understood. Okay, and accordingly they developed it. Okay, or they are working on it. Okay, so think rationally, then acting rationally. Okay, so agent. So what is agent? Agent is just something that acts. Okay, agent comes from the Latin ager, to do. Okay, so all computer programs do something, but computer agents are expected to do more. They operate autonomously, perceive their environment, persist over a prolonged time period, adapt to change, and create and pursue the goals. Okay. So this word is important, agent. Okay. What is the agent? Agent is something who is doing. Okay. Agent is something which is doing. So in the computer programs, okay, computer programs are doing something, but agents are the extensive version of the programs. Okay, extensive version of the programs in which what they will do, they do more than program. Okay, or just do. Okay, they do more than just run a program. Okay, so what they do, operate automatically. Okay, first thing, then perceive the environment. Second thing, okay, what is happening around, they can learn from that. Okay, then third is persist over a prolonged time of period. Okay, so it will work for a prolonged time period. And then agent, it will adapt the change. Okay, if there is change. Okay, if you are making to work something in this particular um, uh, situation, if you change the event and situation on time, then it should be able to adapt the change also. Okay, agent, or it adapts. That is the advantage of these agents. Okay, and they can create and pursue goals. Create and pursue goals means, see, in program what we do, you define the goal, but here it can create the new goals. Okay, and it can pursue that also. Okay, so agent is the very important term, and what that agent is this. Okay, so agent is what? Agent is more than a program. Okay, agent is more than a program, or it is a that sort of program. Okay, which will make the computer to operate autonomously, or we can say the system to operate autonomously. Then it will pursue the environment also. Okay, it will pursue the environment. It will work for longer time. Okay, and it will adapt to changes. Okay, and finally it will create, okay, the new goals, and it will pursue them also. Okay, so this is the agent. So rational agent is one that acts as to achieve the best outcome, or when there is uncertainty, the best expected outcome. Okay, so what is the rational agent? Rational agent brings out the best from the situation. Okay, so laws of thought. Then what is artificial intelligence? Once again, we studied. Okay, so developing machines to think and work just like humans. Okay, so then some developments. Then this is the history. Okay, so how right from 1943 till date, how it is advanced. Okay, so started the artificial intelligence. Then there was enthusiasm. Then there was reality. Then there was expert system. Then neural network introduced. Then probabilistic approaches are coming. Then big data in 2001, and in 2011 again it is deep learning. So this is the development. Okay, from 1943 till date. Okay. So this is history, then brief history, then century-wise histories we studied what happened in different centuries and what were the different discussions and situations. Okay, in the brief, in the history of the artificial intelligence. Okay, so this you can read out. Okay, uh, already the notes are there in A division also. Same notes. Okay, so you can refer to them, or else I can pass on. Okay, then these were the four developments. Okay, so in 90s it was foundation defined. Then human knowledge was encoded to solve the real world problems. Third was uh, reasoning techniques, that probability was introduced. And lastly, the multi-layer neural network, that is deep learning, was introduced. So this is the, you can see the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and data science. Okay, so you can see data science is nothing but it is providing the, or it is data of the events and circumstances. Isn't it? So all the data is used by these three: AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So this, sorry, wait, back side. So you can see artificial intelligence started from 90s. In the 1980s, machine learning started, and in 2010, you can see ahead there is a deep learning. Okay, so this is a history. This is a deep learning we studied. The need of artificial intelligence. What is data science? Okay, data science is basically discovery, data preparation, model planning, model building, communicating result, and operationalizing. Okay, so discovery means finding out the data from the experiment. Okay, prepare the data. Okay, prepare the data means sorting into certain categories or for the useful application. Then, on the basis of prepared data, you are planning the model, then building the model, and then communicating the result, and then lastly, you are operating that particular model. That is the data science. Okay, so this is the data science. Then classification of artificial intelligence we studied, that is the weak and narrow. So in which in small tasks are prepared. In strong artificial or general artificial intelligence, there is a wide variety of you can say the for a task are performed. In super AI, it is super just like a human. Okay, so machine will be like a human. All the abilities will be in the super AI. Okay, then classification on the basis of functionality. Okay. Previous was the classification based on ability. Now this is based on functionality. Reactive machines, limited memory, care of mind, and self-awareness. Okay. So these are the types of the artificial intelligence. Okay. In the weak, we are solving some small problems. In strong, we are solving complex problems. And super, which is yet not existing. Okay, but super intelligence refers to time when capabilities of computers would exceed that human. Okay, so some machines or computers will be smarter than human. Okay, okay. So reactive machines, then you can see just like a chess. Okay, so what happens to that particular situation? The computer or the program, it will react to that particular situation or surrounding. Okay, and they will choose as per the situation. Okay, they will choose the solution on the basis of situation. Okay, then limited memory means just like a car. Okay, so when you have the driving car, okay, automatic driving car, then whatever is the surrounding information, on the basis of that surrounding information, it is limited memory, and on that limited basis it works. Okay, so that is sufficient for that. That is a limited. Then theory of mind means just like human being. Okay, so we have to reach to this level theory of mind. Like the machines can think like just like mind or will be mind of the human. Okay. So and self-awareness is kind of it's like the machine can watch itself how it is living, isn't it? So sometimes we watch ourselves. Okay, just like that self-awareness. Now these are the applications. Okay, deep learning, predictive analysis, translation, and all. Okay, then applications, then different fields of applications we studied. Okay, then the examples. Okay, in the examples we studied Netflix, Siri, Apple, Pandora for music, Flipkart for business, Echo for sound analysis, isn't it? And then careers. Okay, so there are various careers we discussed and how the jobs are increasing or have increased in previous year. And what is the need of artificial intelligence in mechanical engineering is uh, the data. Okay, so according to data, you can plan your manufacturing according to the demand and supply gap, and even you can improve the your production process. Okay, so there is very much application of the machine intelligence. Sorry, artificial intelligence. You can see this was early conceived, then target setting, benchmarking, CAD-related optimization, and product validation, predictive maintenance. Okay, then these are the goals and issues we study. Okay, so reasoning and problem solving, knowledge representation, planning, learning, NLP, perception, motion and manipulation, social intelligence, and general intelligence. Okay, so in this reasoning and problem solving means what? Okay, just like human, how human is solving puzzles or how human is using its brain for solving the problems. Okay, the knowledge representation is nothing but concepts. Okay, so what you know about that particular process. Okay, what are the different objects involved in and how they are related to each other and how they are going to behave. This conceptual knowledge, this is the knowledge representation. Okay, and on the basis of that knowledge representation, you are planning. So planning helps you to optimize the solution. Okay, to get the good productivity in the whatever is the process in which you are applying the artificial intelligence. Then there is learning. Okay, so learning is just like machine learning. Okay, so when through the experiences. Okay, just like we learn throughout our life through our experiences. Okay, so that is the learning. Then natural language processing is one of the part of artificial intelligence where you are using the sound analysis and sound uh, synthesis. Perception is understanding the surrounding world is perception. Then motion and manipulation for the displacement, social and general intelligence. Okay. Now, why these issues and goals okay are mentioned? Because these are the things which basically are required in artificial intelligence, isn't it? Whenever you are implementing the artificial intelligence, then you require this, isn't it? So there are some issues with this. Okay. Okay. There are issues. Okay. So in reasoning and problem solving, again, what happens? We say reasoning and problem solving can be done with the computer. But what happens when you have large number of data? Again, complexity of the problem increases, then there are limitations. Okay. Again, in knowledge representation, what is the issue? People are, they the concepts of all the people should be known, isn't it? Universal concept should be decided, isn't it? And there are many lacuna in deciding the concept. Okay, so that's why knowledge also gets limitation. Okay, knowledge representation. Okay, in planning again the planner. Okay, you award or you just allot all the rights to the planner. So whatever the decisions are made, that planner makes, and then planning model is not that is the monopoly of the planning model. Okay, so once you make the system automatic for the planning, isn't it? Similarly, learning also. In learning also there are experiences because uh, maybe some situation may be understood wrong way. The natural language processing. See, in natural language processing, what is the issue? If someone is speaking some natural language, but intention is different. Okay, so you cannot differentiate. So that's why in NLP also there are some limitations. In perception also, due to some limitations of the hardware systems, motion manipulation. Okay, that is also issue or goal. social intelligence, general intelligence. Okay, social intelligence means just the robots or the machines will be behaving like human mood and how psychologically human is behaving in the society. And general intelligence is the intelligence where just like human or just more than a human, the capabilities are imparted to that system. Okay, so these are the issues and goal, and all these issues are discussed in this. Okay, so after discussing these issues, there there were some variations in the opinions in the researchers, and on the basis of there were these four were the approaches of the AI developed. What are these? Cybernetics and brain simulation, symbolic, subsymbolic, and statisticals. Okay, cybernetics and brain simulation म्हणजे काय की relationship between the brain activity. Okay, ठीक है. So cybernetics approach basically uh, related to brain simulation. Okay, they are related to brain simulation. So what was the issue? The first problem was that building hardware and hardware that simulates the neurology process. Okay, neurological process requires too many components. So this was the limitation. So large hardware was required to develop the human neuron-like system. Okay, which was not possible. But cybernetics is related to neurology and psychology. Okay, so hardware and software, or we can say the brain. How it is. Symbolic means what? Preparing the computer programs. Okay, so computer they can they say the computer programs can be understood. Okay, then symbolic and sub-symbolic means neural systems. Okay, so neural network system means it is an advanced version of we can say uh, computer programming. Okay, in which we have the sub-symbolic approach, or we can say in which we are uh, developing some neural networks. Okay, so which will give better decision than the computer programs. And third was fourth was statistical, in which we studied, or we can say researcher focused on the uncertainty and incomplete information. Okay, so what happens? Sometimes some informations are not complete, or sometimes situation are uncertain. Okay, in that case, statistical techniques are helping for the making decisions. Okay, on the basis of statistical data. Okay, using mathematics and economics or operational research, you can make the decisions in statistical technique. Okay, so and then integrating approaches means using many approaches together. Okay, whichever is good and whichever is giving good result. Okay, then we studied the introduction to machine learning. And machine learning, what is the machine learning? Machine learning is giving machines the ability to learn by training algorithms on a huge amount of data. Okay, and it makes use of algorithms and statistical models to perform tasks. Okay, it makes use of algorithms and statistical models to perform a task without needing explicit function. Okay, then what it does? It collects the data, filters data, analyze the data, train the algorithm, test the algorithm, and use the algorithm for future prediction. Okay, so how it works? It collects the data. Okay, then filters, apply the labels. Okay, what are the different categories and types of the data? As per that labels and categorization, the analysis is done, and that analysis is used for the training of that particular machine. Once it is trained, again it is tested for various conditions, or we can say different or unknown inputs. And once that particular model proves right, then you are using that particular algorithm for future predictions. Okay, so there are many machine learning examples like virtual personal assistant, okay, refined search engine results, image recognition, product recommendations. Okay, so many things are there. Okay, so machine learning, okay, that also we studied. And lastly, we studied the types of machine learning approaches, or approaches to machine learning. Types of machine learning are supervised, unsupervised, reinforced, and semi-supervised. Okay, so artificial intelligence, you can see it is deep learning, NLP, machine learning, neural networks, computer vision. In machine learning, you can see supervised, unsupervised, reinforced, and semi-supervised. So supervised means labeling. Okay, means you are telling the machine what is what. Okay, then an unsupervised it does not know, but it sorts as per the patterns. So in unsupervised, it will recognize the pattern, and according to patterns, it will segregate the data. Okay, that is the unsupervised data. unsupervised learning. Reinforcement learning, good thing is rewarded, bad thing is punished. Okay, so as per reward and punishment process, the model is working or model is learning, and that is called as what you call reinforcement learning. And lastly, semi-supervised learning. Okay, so in semi-supervised learning, just it is a half supervised learning and half is automated learning. Okay, so half is supervised. Supervised means what? Suppose you are using 100% data. Out of 100% data, 50% data is known data, means you know the relationships. Okay, and remaining 50% data is the unknown data. Okay, so in this way, the known data or 50% which is known data. Now here why we are using, because the data is expensive in that case. Okay, so when to get the data 100% is expensive, then you can restrict the known data or available data or past data to 50%, and this 50% data is used for the training of the model. Okay, that is called the supervised learning. And then lastly, we studied the difference between artificial and machine learning. Okay, so artificial intelligence is the involves a machine learning neural network (NLP), whereas machine learning is a subset of AI. Subset means it's a part of machine learning. Sorry, it's part of AI. Okay. Then intelligence in artificial intelligence, acquisition of knowledge and ability to apply. Okay. In machine learning, it is using past instances to make the future decisions. Okay. Then AI focuses more on automating the task. Okay. Systems like cars means it is focusing to automate the system, but machine learning it focuses on gaining and applying knowledge from external environment. Okay. Then for this, enable machine to think and perform routine jobs. Okay, that human do. Okay, so just like human thinks, machine will think like human and it will perform the routine jobs. Whereas machine learning provides solutions on the on the basis of constantly evolving neural network. Okay, so network is evolving in the machine learning, and machine learning basically is totally based on the learning. Okay, whatever is happening to it, it is learning. Okay, machine learning. Then fifth is AI aims at increasing the probability of the success instead of accuracy, and machine learning is being accurate, okay, instead of being successful. Okay, so there's a major difference, or we can say distinct difference. Sixth is AI-enabled system is programmed in such a way that it simulates human behavior, and machine learning tends to create self-learning algorithm. And lastly, artificial intelligence mimics human intelligence to solve the problems, whereas machine learns from previously fetched data to maximize the performance. Okay, so this is the first unit, and this was the we can say a short trip, or we can say a very short what you call review of this unit. Okay, so now we will move to unit 2. Okay. Okay, so these are the objectives: learn fundamental, then learn feature extraction and selection techniques in the second unit. Okay, so the syllabus is feature extractions, statistical features. Okay, principal component analysis, then feature selection. Okay, there are two parts. Okay, one is feature extraction, second is feature selection. Okay, so feature extraction teaches about the statistical features. Okay, statistics, all of you, it is expected that you know the statistics. Okay, what is statistics? Statistics is the decisions, or we can say conclusions making part on the basis of data available. Okay, so whatever data is provided, on the basis of you are taking the statistical conclusions, isn't it? Or we can say statistical predictions. Okay, basically statistics you can use to make the conclusions, or we can say forecasting also. Forecasting means, you know, a certain, like I told you about the example of weather. Okay, weather forecasting, or like making the decision, making the future decisions. Okay, on the basis of the data you are having. Okay, so there are the statistical techniques to do this. Okay, okay. Then principal component analysis. Okay, as its name indicates, principal component is what is the dominating or which is the major part. Okay, or which is prominent, prominent data out of the given data. Okay, or which is the prominent thing. Okay, then next is feature selection. Okay, part in the unit 2, and which includes the ranking, decision tree, entropy, information gain, exhaustive, best fee, first, greedy forward and backward kind of algorithms. Okay, and lastly, application of feature extraction selection algorithm in mechanical engineering. Okay, so data acquisition. Okay, so it's all about data. Okay, means whenever you are extracting the feature, okay, or selecting the feature from the data. So with that, you can understand that data is important. Okay, now when you want to train the model, okay, isn't it? When you want to train the model, okay, model is nothing but some algorithm. Okay, okay, and to train that particular model, you require the data. Okay, so basically, we have studied the data acquisition in third unit. Sorry, in the third year, first semester. Okay, so this is the difference. Okay, the or we can say this is artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. So these are all subparts of each other. Okay, so we can see the major part is artificial intelligence. Okay, so in artificial intelligence, okay, uh, what is artificial intelligence? Any technique that enables computers to mimic human intelligence. Okay, and how it works? It uses the logic. Okay, some rules, decision trees, and some deep learning or machine learning approaches. Okay, now machine learning is the part of artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence is the bigger context. In bigger context, the machine learning is the part. Okay, so machine learning is subset of AI that includes abstruse statistical techniques that enable machines to improve at tasks with experience. The category includes deep learning. Okay, and deep learning is another part of machine learning. Okay, it is part of machine learning, and it is composed of algorithms that permit software to train itself. Okay, what is deep learning? The algorithm or software. Okay, software trains itself. Okay, to perform tasks like speech and image recognition by exposing multi-layered neural networks to vast amounts of data. Data science also we have studied. Okay, so data science, you can see data is required by this all these three things. Okay, artificial intelligence also based on data science, machine learning is also based on data, and deep learning is also based on data. These are the applications. Okay, so you know various applications of the. Okay, okay, so okay, so these are the applications of the artificial intelligence. Already we have discussed in the field of entertainment, in the field of real estate, in e-commerce, in travel, in banking, in manufacturing. So this is what is important for engineers. Okay, or we as mechanical engineers, the manufacturing. Food technology also part of mechanical engineering. Healthcare sometimes is part of, sometimes means for the machines only. Logistics and transportation is the part of mechanical engineering. So applications. Okay, so you can in manufacturing applications. Okay, in smart manufacturing, what are the different applications? Okay, you can see predictive maintenance, virtual reality, augmented reality. Okay, then raw material combination. Okay, optimization. Okay, so raw material combination we can optimize. Quality assurance. Okay, you can assure the quality with the help of AI. Automatic process control process, automatic process control. Okay, or process optimization, and defect detection. Okay, so these are the applications. Okay, so in mechanical engineering, you can see the applications of this AI, or you can see. Uh, okay, so the weather. Okay, then you get the data of the weather. Okay, cyclical and trends of the weather. Okay, then demand forecasting. Okay, so there is some data. and that data is demand forecasting is given to supplier. Then it gives the goods, it plans and manufactures the goods. Okay, and then it goes to after manufacturing through the manufacturing. Okay, so you can see this product supplier gets the information from the demand forecasting. Okay, and then they are manufacturing it into industry. Okay, and then you demand the goods, or we can say raw material. Then there is a visual inspection, you can see with the camera and all, image recognition and all. So this is another level of artificial intelligence for the taking the raw material. Then predictive maintenance works at the machines, okay, where machines are continuously working and do not fail on the basis of predictive maintenance. And this is the another intelligence in the machines which predicts the future, we can say future failure. Then statistical process control, okay, visual inspection. So through this, there is a manufacturing process happens, and this goes to out of the industry, and uh, logistics is optimized. Logistics is optimized means whenever you are transporting that particular thing to the customer. Okay, so as per the locations, demographic and geography, you can make the decisions of the, or we can say plans of the transportation. Okay, then that is the manufacturing process. Okay, you can see in the downside. Okay, the various utilities are there. Okay, those resources are optimized using this artificial intelligence. Okay, then inspection control system process, the process optimization. Again, there is inspection, and there is load. Okay, and there is a quality control. Okay, so these are the, you can see on the bottom line and the middle line and this line. Okay, so this is the part of manufacturing. Okay, through the good in to good out. Okay, here you can see these are all, we can say the manufacturing plant, and various parts of the various plant sections of the industry are optimized on the basis of this artificial intelligence. Okay, AI in business. Okay, 300% increase in investment in AI methodology this year across the business. Okay, so business has increased 3 times. Okay, then 57% business expected to help improve customer experience and support. Okay, so nowadays, the customer experience, because of this artificial intelligence. Okay, so customer experience is also improved. 20% retailers will use AI to personalize the brand experience from awareness through the purchases. Okay, so uh, brand awareness means on the basis of orders. Okay, how the online orders are being placed accordingly, the retailers, okay, will purchase the categories and type of products, okay, with the different, we can say different cost. Okay, so whatever you order on these Flipkarts or Amazon and all. Okay, so what the retailers are coming to know is what kind of, they will make the decisions, what is the, what are the types of the products they should have, isn't it? They should have. Okay, so the products will be decided. Okay, for means retailers can tell the manufacturers or businessmen to go into particular area for manufacturing because that is the demand. Then 20% of workers will use automated assistance technology to make decisions and get the work done. Okay, so automatic assistance is helping the workers to get the work done. So 20% of their workload can be reduced or reduced. 80% of executive say AI boosts productivities and creates new positions. Okay, so productivity is increased and new positions means once your work is being taken care by the intelligence or artificial intelligence, then there are many more new opportunities are coming in the market or in the job. Okay, then significance of this feature extraction, feature selection in machine learning. Okay, feature capture is the essence of story. Okay, feature capture means what? Okay, feature capture means what? You have some random data, isn't it? You have some random data, isn't it? So suppose there is a survey, many people you are coming across the survey. Okay, Google Form survey is there, or some manual survey are there, or any type of survey are there, isn't it? From that survey, the data is generated, isn't it? Data is generated. So the survey can be of any entity, isn't it? Like if it is a survey of fruits, okay, or if you have, like if you have lakhs of fruits, okay, and mixed together, okay, and if you're using the camera, okay, so how the camera will decide the how many types of fruits are there, or what are the the weights of the fruit or whatever it may be, isn't it? So feature is feature capture, okay, so you have to decide, or we should be able to, or you can say the model should be able to extract or select the feature, okay, isn't it? So for the conclusion, that first thing is that feature you have to select or extract from the data, okay, because see, data is irrelevant, or we can say some data is irrelevant also, okay, which is not of use, isn't it? Lot many features lead to high dimensional data, okay. So if you have more and more many and many features, okay, so the dimension of the data will increase, okay, dimension of the data will increase, isn't it? So just like you have the matrix has the rows and columns, isn't it? So if you have more features, then more and more columns will be there, isn't it? And if you more number of data, more and more rows will be there, and accordingly, this the we can say expanse of the data will be, or we can say complexity of the data will be dimensionally high. Okay. Thus, feature selection or extraction plays a vital role in machine learning. Okay. Remember, garbage leads to garbage. Okay, or we can say garbage in leads to garbage out. Means what? If you give the garbage, okay, in input as input, then it is going to produce the garbage, isn't it? So from that garbage, when you have to remove all the garbage and you have to take out only selected data, isn't it? That is the feature selection. Okay. So feature extraction or feature selection. Feature selection is basically you have to identify what are your features, or what are your point of interest in the data, and how to extract them. Okay, how to extract them from the data. That is the feature selection and extraction. Okay. So what is feature extraction and selection? It helps eliminate the irrelevant and redundant data. Okay. First thing, as I told you, you have the garbage. Okay. You have the vast data. Okay. But your interest is about, like suppose there is a medical data. Okay. Medical means the health data of thousands or lakhs of people. And then you are the company who manufacture the diabetes drugs, isn't it? So you are much interested into diabetes patients, isn't it? So what kind of features you will expect, or what kind of parameters you will require? You will require the the demography, or we can say geographical location. Then what is the gender? Okay, what is the age? Okay, so on the basis of this, another way can be a blood group, another way can be a BP or a sugar. So on this basis, whatever is the data, you have to you should have the knowledge of the data, and which are the data points or things to refer uh, to make the decision about that feature, isn't it? Isn't it? So suppose you have the patient's data, lakhs of patients are there, and you want to focus on the diabetic patients, then in there is the garbage of data, like the person where he lives, what he uses, whether he is using the car or two-wheeler, whether he is married, whether he is having the grandparents, whether he is living in cold atmosphere, or whether it is living in hot atmosphere or something. So there are thousands and lakhs of data about that particular event. But what happens feature in feature extraction or feature selection? You are interested in particular, okay? You are interested in particular job, or particular, you can say, uh, feature, okay, like diabetes. So then from the data, your model should be able to select the diabetic patients, and if diabetics are there, so what are essential things you will focus on? If there is a diabetes, then sugar level. Okay, first thing is sugar level. Okay, second thing is your habits. Okay, whether you are early sleeping early or going late to the beds, isn't it? So that also going to matter. Okay, in the in the diabetic patient. Okay, and this whatever is all 100% parameters related to diabetes are extracted, okay, or taken for the future decision, or we can say to extract the feature like diabetes. Okay, so from the data, you cannot only say if this is the data, then the if blood sugar level is high, then that is the diabetic patient. Okay, so that will be very we can say common, or we can say simple approach in that. Okay, so second is enables machine learning algorithm to train faster. Okay, so feature extraction and feature selection, what happens after removal of the irrelevant data or redundant data? Machine learning algorithm training happens faster. Okay, because the machine learning algorithm do not have to go through irrelevant data. Okay, which is not of use. Okay, then it improves the accuracy of the model. Again, accuracy will increase. Why? Because unnecessary data has taken out. Okay, and only the focused data is there. That's why the the factors which are affecting the performance, that those only are studied or monitored. Okay, so uh, in that way you can improve the accuracy. Okay, then reduce the overfitting. Okay, reduce the overfitting. So there are the concept of underfitting. Okay, fitting, overfitting. Okay, best fit. So overfitting means if you have the widespread data, okay, then you want to include all these data in the base fitting, then it will go to the we can say overfitting. So this overfitting is the not acceptable or recommended. So because of this feature selection and extraction, and unrelevant or irrelevant data is extracted, and the fitting will not be related to the irrelevant data. Okay, so it will be related to only relevant data. Okay, then reduce the complexity of model and makes it easier to interpret. Okay, after removal of the unnecessary data is complexity of the model. Okay, it will reduce, and it will make system to interpret the system. Course of dimensionality is taken care of. Sorry, curse of dimensionality. Curse of dimensionality means how dimensional it is. If dimensionality is going to, we can say, affect. Okay, that is also called as curse of dimensionality. Okay, curse of dimensionality. Okay, and reduces the time and space complexity. Now, what is this over and under fitting? Okay, so if this is the model, okay, you can see in the left figure, the good model performed well on test set. Okay, if yes, there is a good model. If no, it goes to performed well on training set. Okay, once again, and once again, it is not giving the we can say training or good training. Okay, then it is no, and it is underfitting. And if it is yes second time, then it is overfitting. Okay, so this model, okay, uh, performs well, okay, on test set, okay, and training set. Okay, now see, two things are there. Okay, what are the difference here? Okay, what are two things you can see here? Test set and training set. Okay, test set and training set means what? Suppose you are training that particular means when you are developing the artificial intelligence or machine learning. Okay, okay, in the machine. Now what you do, whatever the data is there. Okay, suppose you have 100 data. Okay, out of 100 data, what you do, you use some data for training purpose. Okay, you use some data for the training purpose and some data for the testing purpose. Okay, so whatever data it is there. Okay, so 80% of is used for the training purpose. Okay, so that is called the training data. Okay, and remaining data is called as like 20 is the test data. Means what? After training the model, 20 remaining 20 is the test data we are giving to test the system and to observe whatever is trained, that model is trained for. Okay, whether it is going to give the similar decisions or same decisions. Okay, without errors or with a higher accuracy. okay, or highest accuracy. That is the training and training. Well, first thing is the training. And second thing is testing. Okay, so training data and test data. So what is this now? Underfitting, overfitting. When this model performs well on test set, okay, means test data, then it is a good model. Okay, on the test it is not good, doing good, then we have to see whether it is doing good on training data. Okay, so if it is doing good on training data, then it is overfitting, and when it is not doing good in training data, then it is underfitting. Okay, it is underfitting. Got it? Underfitting, overfitting means what? Underfitting means it is underfitting and overfitting are related to what? Training data. Okay, underfitting and overfitting is training data, and when the test system is working good or test data gives the good results, then that model is good. That model is good. So you can see these particular figures. Okay, and you can now you can imagine this. Okay, so uh, you can see the three figures. Okay, so in three figures you can see there is this particular data is spread. Okay, blue dots. Okay, blue dots are the data. Okay, and then blue line shows the model. Okay, blue line shows the model. Okay, what model you have developed. Okay, and the orange line shows the true function. Okay, means behavior. True behavior of the system is like this. Okay, and your data, okay, your samples are lying to that particular function. Okay, and your model, it is all the data is scattered from the model. Okay, then that is the that is the one kind of, we can say whether it is underfitting. Okay, second you can see, okay, in the second, okay, the model and the true function both are matching. Okay, and data is also spread around both these particular curves. Okay, both the curves are matching to each other, and it's the best fit. Okay, and here you can see your model and your actual function. Okay, they are having vast difference, as well as data points. Okay, which are lying on that particular model, or we can say uh, yes, on model or on the actual function. But okay, so this is the underfitting, this is the base fitting, and it's the overfitting. Okay, so what is underfitting, overfitting? Underfitting is model trained with less number of features and data points. Okay, just a moment. Underfitting means model trained with less number of features and data points can neither model training data or nor generalize to new data. Okay, that is a problem with the underfitting. It cannot model the training data, and it cannot generalize the new data. Okay, so what is underfitting? In underfitting, model trained is with less number of features and data points. Okay, so less data and less number of features. Then overfitting, model trained with excessive number of features and data points. That's overfitting. Model gets trained by redundant data and unwanted noise. Okay. Okay. And okay, so curves of dimensionality. Okay, so it is already 10. Okay, so we will continue this lecture. Okay, in next lecture. Okay.